Hey everybody. I've been encouraged to continue and tell you a few more stories. I have two stories tonight. One is brought about by the fact that as things get more serious today, I was really thinking about all the children being disappointed with their sports being canceled and their gymnastics and their dance recitals, and big children too. And when I was thinking about the dance recitals, it occurred to me that the very first program I ever went to at Lee Jackson School, I was about 2.5 years old. I went to see my brother Wallace Jr, and many of you know my brother. And for whatever reason, when he was in about second grade, our parents made him take, wait for it, tap dancing. Yes, Wallace took tap dancing and participated in the spring recital. He might even have been the star of the recital. He and our neighbor, Maury Bates, Maury B we called him, who later moved to Williamsburg, they did a duet. They were dressed in sailor suits. Our family and friends took up 2 rows. I was so little that I was allowed to stand in my chair so that I could see, and it was a big deal to me. There was my brother up on the stage, and what was so endearing, it was like the sort of thing you hope happens when the flower girl at the wedding sprays the rose petals and does something particularly cute. Well, Maury B was the cute little did something. He hadn't learned his part, so Wallace would do his tap, whatever step he was supposed to be doing. Maury B would look at him and then do his, so he was always about 1.5 steps behind. And they were in their little darling sailor suits and so precious. And Frances Lee, aged 2.5, couldn't stand it. I got jealous. And nobody was paying any attention to me, and the audience was thoroughly enjoying and loving every minute of this recital. And the little boys were so dear. And so I did the only thing I knew to do. I stood in my chair, and I sang at the top of my lungs before they could get hold of me, "Jesus Loves Me." It was the only song I knew, and I wanted to perform as well. And my brother, I don't think he really spoke to me except to ask me to pass the salt for 2 or 3 years. So that's just one little springtime memory. But the other one is really an Easter memory. Many of you will be able to understand this. When I was 12, that whole sock anklet turned down at the ankle thing, maybe white socks with little patent leather Mary Jane shoes, it wasn't a good look for me. And I wanted to wear stockings. I wanted to wear sheer stockings like a grown-up person, and I wanted to have some patent leather shoes for Easter with a little bit of a heel. 1 inch, that's all I was asking. And I wore them down. I wore Mama down and my Aunt Golden. They were sort of in charge together of my wardrobe. And I was supplied with some stockings and a garter belt. I'm so old that I started doing this before pantyhose were invented. That's just a sad realization. But it was Easter, and we'd been up for sunrise service, but Mother was going to have the whole family, both sides, for lunch, and she was super busy, so she was going to skip Sunday school. So Daddy brought me to Sunday school. There was no way I was going to miss making my entrance in my new sheer stockings and my heels. And I'm sure I had a new Easter dress as well. So he drove up to Old Baptist, and there's an entrance and an exit, and he went in the entrance, and he curved around, and he dropped me off in front of the Sunday school building. And there were some other people behind us, so he needed to get out of the way. So as soon as I closed the car door, he took off. And my nose was up in the air, you all. I didn't have my heart in the right place. It was all about how I looked. And I tripped up, and I fell flat on my face, and I knocked the knees out of both of those new pair of Hanes, barely there, sheer stockings, hooked to that garter belt. And all of the sudden, these nice men in suits and wingtip shoes were all coming towards me to help me. And it was awful. And I looked up and I saw Daddy, and he started to turn to go towards home, but he must have looked in the rearview mirror, because he swung wide, turned the other way, came back through the entrance again, pulled up in front of the Sunday school building as the men were helping me up. They opened the car door, I got in, and he just smoothly drove off. And it was probably one of the smartest moves of his life. He didn't say a word. I think he patted me on the shoulder. So when we all get to go back to church again, we have to have our hearts in the right place. Not about what we're wearing, but about why we're there. So that's my other little Easter story. And I hope you all will have, in our own new, different, unusual way, a very blessed Easter. And I know that your hearts are in the right place. Love you. Bye.